The following is a presentation of the Eagles Sports Network.
Well, again, thank you all for being here. And tomorrow I just want to announce we've got a 10 o'clock meeting with our coaches, a 12:15 meeting with our players, and a fundraising meeting in this room at 1 o'clock. I hope you'll come back. But we got Jim Deaton back here, and he said that since it's fundraising and money, that they already had another commitment tomorrow, and they couldn't be back, which is what I thought. But we're excited about this day. We're excited about yesterday. Yesterday was Ken Sparks' day, and I hope we honored him in a way that he was most deserving. Ken was the 17th football coach at Carson-Newman, and obviously his record is exemplary. But I am so excited today to get to introduce to you the 18th head football coach at Carson-Newman University, Coach Mike Turner. Coach Turner, come on up here. As I told this group yesterday, and as I've shared with our coaches and as I've shared with our athletes, there were three things that we basically were looking for in a coach. One, a gentleman with high character, and a gentleman that was Christ-like. And when they turned us down, I've got two more lines to follow. No, seriously, that is the first thing we look for. The second thing we look for is a football coach that was a great leader of young men, who would set high expectations, who too would continue the legacy that other coaches that have preceded him have left at Carson-Newman. And we expect great character out of these young men. We expect them to do well in the classroom. And thirdly, I told you that we were looking for a great football coach. And I don't think that anybody can question Mike Turner is all three of those. So, was it an easy decision? As I told you, it was easy for me because my prayer was, God, I want you to put whoever your next man is to lead this football program in front of me and make sure I have the ears to hear, the eyes to see, and that I will follow your will. I'm truly convinced that it's God's will for this time at Carson-Newman that our 18th head football coach is Coach Mike Turner, and I'm excited to introduce him to you today. Let's give Mike another round of applause.
Wow. All right. I am excited. I am humbled. I'm honored. But I am oh so enthusiastic about this opportunity. I think one of the verses I try to read every day, if not every day, is Micah 6:8, because it's simple for a football coach. And this is Jesus speaking. He has told you, men, what is good and what the Lord requires of you, only to act justly, to love faithfulness, and to walk humbly with your God. Now, that ought to be simple enough for even me to follow. And hopefully and prayerfully, I will try to do that. This program will never change in many ways. It'll always be a Christ-driven program. It'll always be a program that works to glorify God in all that it does. And it'll always be a program that every day, every coach is going to work hard to be a positive influence on the young men that we deal with. That part will never change. That's a legacy that Coach Ken Sparks has left us, and that's a legacy we'll continue to live by while we're here right now. It is an opportunity. It reminds me of the old saying, be careful what you wish for, because you just might get it. And here it is. You know, there was a time where I thought, you know, maybe it's time to retire, take care of Miss Izzy, my granddaughter. But every day in this building and on this campus, I would remind young people that never wake up one day and utter the worst words a man could ever say, and that's, "I wished I had." So I thank the Lord for this opportunity. I thank Alan Morgan and Dr. O'Brien for trusting me to carry on a tradition that is awesome. It's unbelievable what's happened in this program in the last few years. I've been very fortunate to be around some legends that have coached and played at Carson-Newman University. Had an opportunity to play for Coach Dow Shealy. Well, that's enough right there. What he has done for football, what he has done for the Fellowship of Christian Athletes, what he's done for the coaching profession is awesome. I got to be around Coach Ron Case that ended up being a head coach here at Carson-Newman. And Coach Case was a guy that recruited many, many, many of the players that when we came here in 1980 to start with Coach Sparks that were here on campus. And then to be around Coach Sparks for 33 years. I've coached with him for 33 years and played 2 years here. I was a junior college transfer. So I have been blessed many times over. You look at the name on that stadium out there, Coach Harmon. When I was a player here at Carson-Newman, one of my best friends was his son, Ralph. And his mom used to feed us in the summer to get us by because we didn't have a cafeteria plan then. It was every man for himself, and thank goodness she took care of us. I talked to our players about, you know, knowing it's time to roll up our sleeves and go to work. That's go to work in the classroom. That's go to work on this campus. That's go to work in study hall. Let's go to work in the weight room and see what can happen. I also talked to him about 3 things. And part of this came from Lou Holtz, and Coach Redding reminded me of that this morning. You know, number one, I'm committed to excellence. It takes just a little bit more to go from good to great. So we talk to our players, if it just takes a little bit more, then roll up your sleeves and let's go to work. Second thing, I told our players they could trust me. I'm going to do the best I can to do exactly what I say. So I got to be careful, Mike Turner, what you say. But I'm going to do the best I can to do what I say we're going to do. So committed to excellence, players can trust you. And I told our players that, hey, that goes both ways. As a coach, I've got to be able to trust them that they're going to do and put in the effort it takes for us to be successful here. And the third thing I told them, I cared about each one of them in this room. Regardless. It doesn't matter where they are on the depth chart. It doesn't matter where they are, offense, defense, or kicking. And told them that I loved them, and I loved them for what it cost them to be a football player at Carson-Newman. The effort, the time, it can be daunting sometimes what they have to do to be a part of this football team. But they're here, and they're a part of it. And we want to make it better for them, make it better for people on campus that they're here and is a part of it. So that's our challenge as a head coach, and that's our challenge as a coaching staff, and that's our challenge as a team. But I'm ready to make it happen.
Questions for Coach Turner?
Mike, it's one thing to replace your best friend. It's another thing to replace a legend. How do you do that?
Oh, you don't. There's no way. Ken Sparks is Ken Sparks. And, you know, anybody took this job and thought they were going to replace Ken Sparks, not very bright, are they, baby? So, you know.
I hope you're pretty bright.
I got a red-headed woman over here to doubt that one, baby. You don't replace him. Hey, I'm Mike Turner, and I'm going to do the best I can every day, and I'm going to trust in how God is leading me to do that, and that's what I promised our players. I wouldn't try to be somebody else. I'm going to be me, And we're going to, like I said, roll up them sleeves, baby, and go to work. But you can't replace that. And, you know, all you do is celebrate that, Mark. You know, you're just grateful that you were a part of it and celebrate.
Coach, whenever
Yes,
the coaching change, first job of a new head coach is to recruit his own players that he wants, that are already on the team. I'd imagine that your job is going to be a little easier than others in this regard.
Well, absolutely. And we talked this morning as a coaching staff, and, you know, there's two priorities right now. Number one priority is take care of these kids we've got right here on campus. You know, GPA, grades, you know what I mean? That's the urgency right now. Getting ready for exams in just a few weeks. And the second priority, which is right there with it, is make sure we're on the road recruiting, that we're organized, that we're centralized, and we're ready to make a difference.
I would imagine that plenty of other head coaching opportunities have been opened up to you in your 33 years at Carson-Newman. You didn't take them except for, I guess, the Science Hill for a little while. What made you decide to stay here in this role this long?
Well, no question about it. Number one, I think this is where God wanted me to be. My wife and I felt like this is a great place to raise our children. And, you know, and this felt like home. You know, I've lived over half my life has been right here in Jefferson City. And I'm just a country boy from Randleman, North Carolina. So that's a long way away. But this is home. Like I said, I've left a couple times, and told Coach Sparks yesterday, you know, I always thought he was a smart guy, but he hired me 3 times. And, you know, I wondered about him. So, but yeah, this is home. This is where you, and there's never been, you can ask these guys in the back of the room, you know, it's like I grew up as a young coach, man. I'd go to coaching conventions and I'd see all these guys with a ring on their finger, and I'd go, man, I won't be one of them. And so we won our first national championship in Colorado. You fly back on the plane. I got off the plane. I went to bed. I got up and went to church. We came over here and had a picture made at the other building. And then I was on the road that afternoon to Macon, Georgia, to recruit. And I stopped at a Waffle House and got some coffee, and the wind was blowing. I got out that car. I went, that didn't last long. So, you know, there's what you think are priorities. Where do you think is best for you to grow at? And that's what Carson-Newman's been.
You have a big job tomorrow is finding an offensive coordinator to replace Mike Turner. Talk about that.
Well, you know, this just got finalized last night. And I haven't sit down and made a folder of what I got to do because it scares me. All right? You know what I'm talking about. But, hey, like we said, we talked this morning with our coaches. Number one thing is take care of our players we got right here and get the grades done and then start recruiting. But, yes, those issues, we're going to sit down as a staff and come up with the best answers. Adam, that good?
That's good.
Okay, buddy, that's the truth.
What kind of players are you looking to bring in here from a recruiting standpoint?
Well, we want to bring in better players than what we got, okay? And just like that should be anybody's idea of what you bring in. But, hey, we want to bring in people that fit the Carson-Newman mold as best we can. And we talked this morning about researching and finding that. You know, every program has got immediate needs, and then you got needs where you got to plan on 2 years down the road and 1 year down the road where they'll be. So when you set up recruiting, and that's what we're meeting tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock about, is list what our needs are right now, the short-term needs, and then where you can come in and bring them for 2 years or whatever and grow it that way. He told me not to look over and look at the camera.
How much of a dream is this?
This is a dream job. When I first got to Carson-Newman, you know, I felt very, very blessed. You know, to be able to sit up here and stand up in front of that football team and be the head coach, and you're going, man, that's a dream job, and you're blessed, and then you're going, wow. what has to get done and how it has to get done and what you represent. It's not about all the things. It's the people all over the world that this football program means something to them. And they're people, and our people in information can tell you, right, Charles? They're from all over the world, buddy. They know about Carson-Newman football and the tradition, and they want to see it in good hands.
There are some coaches that would rather be coordinators and position coaches than the head coach, because the head coach has so much else to deal with. What do you think you have learned over your years of watching Ken, of what it takes to step from offensive coordinator to the head guy?
Well, I was very fortunate, Mark, to work for a guy like him that would say, hey, you go do this. All right? And that's how you grow. Coaches want to coach. And he's always been a guy that wanted to have coaches grow up as they came along to be able to do this level or that level or the next position and move along right there. I know that Coach Clowney and I and Coach Slade have all been with him, as coordinators, and he treats the coordinator just like he was the head coach, and there's never really been a whole lot of difference, except he always told us, the buck stopped somewhere, and that's where it was, but I think when you've been in that position with a guy like him, you've got a lot of things to fall back on, ideas. You've got a lot of history to learn from, and that part has been special.
How did you handle the long search process? It lasted all of 6 hours.
Well, somewhere in here, I'm going to find a sleep ease pill this afternoon. No, it's been I just thank Mr. Morgan and Dr. O'Brien for not going on with this, whatever it was going to be, because these kids went through a traumatic day yesterday. Very, very traumatic day. All of us did, me too. And my question to him yesterday was, are you sure? So we know that happened, and I think the best way to continue going forward is to go do it, and let's get on with it. And know that there won't be a day around this place that Ken Sparks won't be a part of it.
Anything else for Coach Turner?
If not, before we go, Coach has some special folks with him today that I'm sure he wants to bring up and recognize. So Connie, if you and the family would come up here and you give him a special hug and congratulations. As this will be
This is my wife, Connie. This is my daughter, Jenny, and my son, Josh. And boy, it's great. They're all red-headed, and you never had to worry about it, baby. You find them in the grocery store, and there they were. So, I love them, and God's blessed me many times over, and right here is special. And the two biggest Carson-Newman football fans you can find are the three are right here. Okay.
Well, I know Coach feels like I do, and all the husbands in here. Without a supportive staff or spouse and family, he couldn't do the job that has to be done. And this will be his biggest cheerleaders. But Coach, I just want you to know that everybody in this room will be cheering for you right behind this group. So we're all in this together. We're all Eagles. And let's again welcome our 18th head football coach.
Let me tell you how I met my wife. I came here from a junior college to play at Carson-Newman and played for Coach Sheely, like I said, and this was a little red-headed cheerleader, so what kind of a story could you say? Football player who marries red-headed cheerleader. I mean, it don't get any better than that, okay? You couldn't write it in a book any better than that. Hey, thank you all, and listen, you folks are special to Carson-Newman, media, friends, coaches, all of us, we're in this thing together. Support staff and faculty, all right, we're all in this thing together. Don't hesitate to call on each other, and let's rally. Let's get it done right.
Again, thank you for coming, and let's have a great day, and I'm gonna leave you with one thing. Go Eagles!
Atta baby.